All right, guys. So, hope you are doing well. So, in this video, we shall be discussing about our markets, that is Nifty and Bank Nifty. So, what is the recent price action developments taking place here? As well as we shall be focusing on our global markets and a few other stocks where we can find some good entry opportunities. So yes guys, let's get started without further delay. So the first thing which I have on my screen is of course your Nifty, right? So Nifty, I have the weekly time frame here. So on our last two weekly candles we have seen selling pressure coming in, right? So yes, it was an ATH breakout in Nifty. Nifty did break and sustain above the previous all-time high for quite some time, but it has given up all its gains from there on. The last two weekly candles have wiped out the gains made in the previous two weekly candles, as you can see here, right? So the previous weekly candle, this week's closing, which I mean, right? So this did not close on a nice way, isn't it? You can see here, this is an inverted hammer forming up. This is not indicating any buying pressure, right? So of course this selling side momentum may continue in the upcoming week as well, considering the present week candle, right? So of course now let's get into our lower time frames, right? So first of all, I would like to head to the daily. So you can see here that even on our daily time frame there is some kind of a retracement happening out. So yes, looking at the current price action, we can easily say that price will retrace to the 18,110 mark, if not the 18,000 mark, right? So 18,000 mark is somewhere around here, right? So price can easily retrace to that if the price does not manage to sustain above the mark of 18,110, right? So currently there is no major support that can help the price to sustain above the previous week low, right? So that is around the mark of 18,250. Yes, on our next few sessions we might see some kind of a retracement on the upside on an intraday basis. Probably in the first half we may see some recovery, but eventually it can get sold off very quickly, right? So that is my prediction on Nifty. If I head to the lower time frames, say for example the hourly, so here what needs to be addressed is the fact that Nifty broke and retested this support zone, right? So if I mark this support zone with a rectangle, you can see here that this was indeed a very strong support zone. Why is it so? Because price shot up from here as well and here as well, right? It was kind of a reversal from around here, but eventually what happened was that the price did not sustain at these levels, and from here it fell, right? There was a huge profit booking and eventually it broke this support right at around this region and retested it and even broke the previous low, right? So this is a proper breakdown plus retest setup happening out in Nifty. So yes, on our next session we might see some kind of a move till around the 18,300 mark, followed by a retracement to the 18,130 mark, right? So that is the predicted price action for the upcoming few trading sessions, right? So looking at the momentum as well, you can see the volumes are very strong, the momentum is very strong, right? So it fell by approximately how much, 450 points within just two trading sessions, right? So that is actually huge, isn't it? So all the gains have been wiped out from here on, right? So this retracement or correction is thanks to the Fed, the hawkish Fed comments, right, that has been passed on a recent Fed meeting, right? So this is maybe this, it is speculated that this fall is thanks to recession fears, and it can be observed equally in our Dow Jones as well, right? So heading to the Dow Jones chart, right? Let me just open it. So even Dow Jones is not looking great. You can see here this candle was the reversal candle, right? So right after the inflation data the price went up, it opened huge gap up, but it did not sustain and closed somewhere near the previous opening, right? And from there on there was a very strong selling pressure. Now if I head to the hourly here, you can see that Dow has taken some kind of a support from this region, right? So this is nothing, this is just a retracement, right? So eventually it will continue to fall if the bearish sentiments remain intact, right? So if I head to the daily as well, you can see here the price took some kind of a support from around the 200-day EMA, right? So 200-day exponential moving average, of course it has to give some support to the price. So that is why traders probably have booked some of their short positions at around this region. Does not mean that this is going to be the bottom for the short term, right? Easily the prices may break and eventually head to this level, right? So that is my prediction on Dow Jones. If I head to the Nasdaq as well, you can see here Nasdaq did not show much signs of a recovery from the bottoms, and it is trading near the lows, right? You can see here this is our weekly time frame. Again, this trend line has been maintained. This is a very bearish weekly candle, you can see here. Then Dow and Nasdaq can easily test this mark of 10,500 in the next few sessions, right? Even on the DJI chart, you can see the weekly candle is absolutely bearish. You have this weekly 21-day moving average, exponential moving average as well. So the price took some kind of a support from these region, right? You can also see that there is a support zone at around here, the mark of 32,400, which if gets broken, then easily the price will retrace to this level followed by this level, right? So obviously these three are the short-term support levels for Dow Jones as well, right? So of course, considering the current momentum, uh, these supports should not resist the prices in going down. That's the thing, right? We can observe minor pullbacks at such support regions, but eventually my view remains bearish. Why is it so? Because the price did not sustain at this region. It seemed like the price will easily break and retest this and head to this level, but there was a proper false breakout occurring out here. This seems that this is a manipulation. Why is it so? Because once the price broke this region, I'm pretty much sure that a lot of retailers got into the market. There was a lot of demand being generated at around this region. Why? Because yes, it is a major resistance breakout, but turns out that the institutions have taken the advantage of this to sell their positions, isn't it? So this is what we call as a liquidity movement, right? So a liquidation movement. So liquidation movement is nothing, just manipulating the prices in order to bring in the liquidity to exit their positions, right? So that is what has taken place here, and even in our bank nifty and nifty as well, right? So here also what we can see is that bank nifty bank nifty is currently just near the 21 day exponential moving average in our, of course, the daily time frame. uh, of course, the previous day low is definitely going to be an important support zone that we need to keep in mind. If I show this to you properly, so you can see that, let me open the rectangle tool again. So here the price is actually near a major short-term support zone. So if the previous day low gets broken, then probably the prices may retrace to this level, that is the 200 period exponential moving average on our hourly time frame. So that is around the mark of 42,850, right? So 43,000 remains as the major psychological level for the short term. So let's see how the prices react to it. If we get the breakdown of that level on an intraday basis, then obviously we are seeing further retracement, right? So here as well we can see that there is some kind of a liquidation movement happening out. The prices were heading higher, but this structure is not that good. This is an evening star formation. This daily candle has wiped out the gains of three daily previous candles, isn't it? So obviously things are not looking that great. Even if I open the chart of State Bank of India, you can see here this is a proper false breakout, false all-time high breakout. Here is a bearish engulfing followed by a major downside movement and a closing below the 21 period exponential moving average in our daily time frame, right? Even on our weekly, you can see this is a proper bearish engulfing. Of course, looking at the uh, PSU banks, this is a point of concern. Why is it so? Because the PSU banks have been on a major bull run, right? And it has been helping out the bank nifty to head higher. But considering the fact that this weekly time frame looks very overstretched, we can observe a major selling happening here, a good amount of retracement till at least the last support zone, that is around the mark of 4100, right? So yes, a 6 to 7% correction from this level is actually possible in the upcoming week, and if the prices don't manage to sustain above this mark, then probably we are heading downwards, right? So that is again a point of concern. Even looking at the chart of Reliance, right, Reliance also has not closed on a nice way. There was a favorable news for the oil producing companies regarding the windfall tax, and here as well you can see that the daily candle was absolutely bearish. If I head to the hourly, you can see that this buying pressure again turned out to be a false breakout, a false movement. Why is it so? Because the sellers have taken the opportunity, have taken the advantage to sell in huge amounts and trap the buyers, right? This similar pattern is visible in ONGC as well. So here this is actually a good trade setup that has formed on ONGC. You can see here that the price tried to break this level of 149 to 150. There was some kind of an upside movement, but here as well on our lower time frames you can see a proper false breakout happening out, right? So here as well you can see, if I head to the weekly, there is some kind of an overstretched price action. This is a major resistance zone, as you can see here on this candle. You can see the price went down by about 14%. So yes, this is actually a very strong resistance. So if the prices don't manage to sustain probably at around this region, then we can easily see it falling till 143. So yes, this is actually a trade setup. You can consider this for an intraday or a positional basis, right? So if the sector falls, then obviously ONGC is going to be weak, right? PSU, all the PSU stocks, they are not looking that great, because we are witnessing some kind of a profit booking happening out there, right? So obviously again, let me head to the chart of Nifty. So what is to be understood here is where can be the next major support zone for Nifty, right? So Nifty, as you can see, if it does not manage to sustain around the current levels, so we can see it reaching 18150 to 18,000 in the short term, right? There is a gap that is to be filled at around this region. So this gap, if getting filled, then probably the price may consolidate here for some time, and if somehow the bearish sentiment declines, right, then we can observe this to be the bottom for the price, right? And if in any case the bearish sentiments remain intact, then we can see the prices falling and eventually filling this gap as well, right? So this gap, it is around the mark of 17,800. So yes, 17,800, a retracement till that level is actually very much possible, right? So you can see here, this is the 17,800 mark, this is the 17,900 mark, and this is your 18,130, and this is your 18,050. So these are the major levels for the short term, if I were to be precise, on Nifty, right? So obviously considering the fact that the IT sector is absolutely weak, right? So here, if I show you this IT sector chart, this is the hourly. You can see there is a proper inverted head and shoulder breakdown, sorry, a head and shoulder breakdown. You can see this is the support zone. What happens here? The price goes up, right? It quickly comes down, it forms a lower high, it breaks this support, and it fills this gap, right? So again, some kind of a retracement, and we are seeing it reaching this level, right? So obviously IT sector is very much weak. Talking about the India VIX as well, so India VIX, if I head to the daily, you can see here that India VIX has taken some kind of a support from this mark, right? So here, this seems to be a decent enough support zone, applying price action here. So here as well, things are, a bit on the upside, right? We can probably witness VIX reaching out to this mark 15, right? 15 to 16 in the near term if the prices keep on falling, right? So India VIX is again, indicating a further downside movement, right? So that was my analysis on Nifty, Bank Nifty, and a few other stocks. Of course, my view remains bearish for the upcoming week. We might witness some kind of a consolidation, probably in our first or second trading session, and eventually the fall may continue. Now let's see what kind of a momentum the prices show on the upcoming week, based on which we can place our positions, right? So that is my analysis on our market. Hope this helps. See you guys in our next video.